So first, I wanted to introduce myself. I am from PACE, which is Pacific Asian Consortium in Employment, and we are the partner for ProcureLA. So PACE has been around since the 70s, but the Business Development Center of PACE has been around since the 90s, and we provide business training, technical assistance, one-on-one counseling, and access to capital to many, many business owners like you. And in addition to being an SBA microloan intermediary and a community advantage leader, we are a COIN certified CDFI, which is a community development financial institution, a community development agency, and an official CalCap lender. So we also host and house the award-winning Women's Business Center. So welcome everyone. I think people are just trickling in. So I just wanted to just give you a little bit of background of what we're doing in general. So we're doing 6 training modules along with just many, many different fabulous partners that we have. So our first module right now is the navigating the City of LA government structure and contracting opportunities. And then we're going to have 5 more modules after this. So we're going to have one every week for the next 6 weeks. So welcome. Okay. And just a little bit of what we're going to be doing today. So my name is my name is Christina and I am from PACE. And then we're going to do a little bit of introductory remarks from Rosa Penaloza from EWDD and Libby Williams from the mayor's office. And then after that, we're going to have a few different speakers. So we're going to have Daniel Cho from RAMP LA, Charla Sullivan from WebCore, and also Simone Caldwell from LASEC. And she'll explain to you what LASEC means. So stay tuned. Just a little bit of, and as I said, if you're just trickling in, feel free to introduce yourself on the chat. And then also put down your name, your industry, and then the business that you're in. So then we know who's attending these webinars and see how we can help you. Just a few housekeeping items. Just make sure you're on the listening mode. I'm gonna have a few minutes after to do the Q&A. So use 2 things. You can use the chat to do to post questions, and also the Q&A. You can also post questions that way. And we're gonna have about 10 to 15 minutes after to do questions. And then if we can't answer your question because of the lack of time, I'm going to send a follow-up email after this, and then we're going to have a chance for you to connect with our speakers as well. And then our webinars are being recorded, so please visit our e-library for these module recordings. So with that said, before we go to the Q&A, so first of all, I would like to introduce Libby Williams from the LA Mayor's Office to give our introductory remarks.
Thank you so much, Christina. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here. I'm Libby Williams. I am the Director of Small Business and Policy here at the Mayor Bass's office, and we are excited to have all of you and have all of this interest in procurement, and not just in procurement, but with the City of Los Angeles. I've been doing economic development and small business development for a number of years, working directly with small businesses and community-based organizations, and I understand the need for us to offer this assistance to be able to reach our goal, which is to increase the number of small businesses utilized in all contracting platforms across the City of Los Angeles. One of the best ways to do that, you are taking the first step right now by signing up for ProcureLA. Our goal is to make sure that you're prepared for all of the upcoming opportunities. And we know we've heard of them all, from the Olympics to the Super Bowl coming again to, I always forget the soccer finals that's coming because I'm clearly not a big soccer fan, but I know that there are several who are. But beyond just having opportunities for those, there are regular everyday opportunities with the City of Los Angeles in terms of small business procurement, everything from professional services to commodities and the like. And we want to make sure as many of you are prepared. And in order to be prepared, we want to make sure that you get this education and understanding of how to go about it. And then Rosa is going to talk to you even more about where you can get direct services from the City of Los Angeles. So we encourage you to stay on, share this information with your other colleagues and your peers. Also want to make sure that you sign up for the Mayor's Office of Business and Economic Development. We have a newsletter that comes out that gives a lot of information. I'll make sure that some of my small business team members are on this call. We'll drop that information in the chat. So please do us a favor, sign up to receive our newsletter so that we can keep you in the know. And with that, I turn it back over to Christina.
Yeah, well, thank you, Libby, and you've made a great transition to Rosa. So, Rosa Peñalosa, I'd like to welcome you to give our the second intro remark.
Well, thank you, Christina, and thank you, Libby. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rosa Penalosa. I'm an Assistant Chief Grants Administrator with the City of Los Angeles Economic and Workforce Development Department. EWDD steers economic development in a manner that yields thriving businesses and creates job training and career opportunities for the City of Los Angeles. We work every day to deliver a strong and committed workforce, sustainable neighborhoods, and profitable communities throughout Los Angeles. And for that reason, we partner with PACE, to launch ProcureLA along with our mayor's office. And one of the things that is so interesting about this is that we want to be able to give you as a business all of the tools necessary for you to be successful. And most important, for what? For you to win a contract with the City of Los Angeles. And of course, the bonus would be all of those wonderful major events that are coming to Los Angeles in the coming years. Now, with that being said, did you know that in the City of Los Angeles, in just the region, completely all of LA, we spend billions of dollars each year procuring goods and services, providing businesses an opportunity to win contracts is not only part of the city and county's equity goals, but also provides an opportunity to drive investments into this region. And we want to do that by helping you as a small business. ProcureLA will help your business become contract ready by providing the necessary tools to navigate procurement and win those contracts. You are entitled to it. You need to be ready. You need to receive all of the information. And this is your first step, being part of this ProcureLA Accelerator and starting these modules. And at the completion of the modules, we hope that you're going to be able to submit and apply for any procurement opportunities with the City of Los Angeles. Now, business opportunities with our Economic Workforce Development Department. So how can a business access contracts from different levels of government or large upcoming events or venues? Are you ready to welcome and win a contract with the City of Los Angeles or any of the upcoming major events like LA 28, the World Cup, the Super Bowl, and more? Well, with EWDD, we actually post all of our contracts, opportunities, procurement opportunities, all of our bids. Where? On Ramp LA. And you're going to be hearing a little bit more about them and what's the process. But I want you to know that our department often hires for professional services, such as consultants. We have an array of different services from if you're a company that hosts assessments or strategic planning or industry sectors evaluation, you might want to take a look at Ramp LA and see what opportunities we have to offer. We execute contracts and opportunities for subrecipients. That's organizations, that can operate some of our large programs with specific deliverables, render services, meet local, state, federal requirements, and act as an extension of the city on our behalf. Contractors, we have entities, to operate specific projects and or programs with key deliverables with potential shorter timelines. For example, facade improvement, construction, service delivery. There's many. So on Ramp LA, EWDD is committed to posting all of our opportunities for the department based on our needs. And it's often, so you need to stay on top of it. You want to be alerted. You want to make sure you're registered. So we not only post requests for proposals, such as RFPs, requests for qualifications, such as RFQs, requests for bids, such as RFBs, or requests for interest, such as RFIs. And by the way, we also have the opportunity that if you were to be interested in any of these procurement releases that we have, we also focus on establishing a bench list of different, contractors and or consultants or, service organizations that, meet the requirements of what we're looking for. And so we want to make sure that you are notified, that you are engaged, that you are aware. So I am excited. I am very proud of you for joining us here today with ProcureLA Accelerator first module, and we look forward to your completion and your ultimate success. So thank you very much. And if you have any other questions, we'll post our website on the chat. And oh, by the way, and I don't want to forget, I want to make sure that I highlight that if you also need, as a business, technical assistance services, we have 10 business source centers that you can actually reach out to and receive some technical assistance in addition to ProcureLA. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thank you, Rosa. And this is an exciting time, especially for sports fans, right? So in the next 4 years, there's a host of different sporting events. And aside from that, all the opportunities that are available to business owners like you. And then thank you. You're making my job easier because now you've made a transition and you've mentioned RAMP. So let's talk about what RAMP is all about. And we have Daniel Cho, who's from RAMP LA. He will tell us what RAMP is. And for many of you who've had some experience with RAMP and some of you haven't. So he will, take it from here, Daniel.
Good morning. Give me 1 second. Let me set my system up to share.
Thank you.
Oh dear, it says I have to quit and reopen. Christina, would you mind actually putting up the slides for me? Sorry about
Sure.
that.
Oh, no worries. Let me find it.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. So sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Right. But with that said, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Daniel Cho. I am from the Office of Procurement, which actually does administer RAMP, which is the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. And I am the Procurement Strategy and Policy Manager for the Office of Procurement. And yeah, once again, super excited to be here with you all today. Today, actually, we'll be going over, for the most part, an overview of city procurement. We'll talk a little bit about RAMP, but actually next Tuesday will be a bit of a more deep dive into RAMP, as well as how to get on there, how to register, how to find your appropriate next codes, and things of that nature. But for today, we will be going over procurement kind of as an overview itself. So with that said, give me 1 moment. Awesome. Thank you, Christina. So the Office of Procurement was established to provide oversight for the city's $4.5 billion of procurement spend. That number probably has gone up a little bit over the last few years, so we're probably closer to the 5, maybe 5.5 number. But yeah, that as we kind of move towards bigger and larger, I guess, events, as well as the things that the city needs to provide, I'm sure that number will be continually growing as we go to the future. So our office was established by ordinance in January 2023. So we've been here for about 2 years now, more or less in charge of procurement policy, process, technology, training, making sure that we as a city are really doing well with our procurement holistically. Next slide, please.
Oops.
Thank you. And with that, as mentioned, the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement is the city's website, where its regional partners, as well as the city itself, hosts and solicits their contracting opportunities. And so for you all here today, please sign up for the Regional Alliance Marketplace for Procurement. It is the place where you will find all of the opportunities that we have as a city, as well as our opportunities from our partnering agencies. LAUSD is on there. The Port of Long Beach posts regularly. Cedars-Sinai utilizes our platform for our vendor database, and it's a good way to more or less research previous opportunities and contracts, network, find businesses. If you're a subcontractor and you're looking for prime contractors to potentially work with, please use the platform to find those potential primes to partner with, as well as it is the city's portal for certifications done by the Bureau of Contract Administration. So yeah, all in all, there's a lot of upside and a lot of opportunities to be found on RAMP. And once again, we will be going into a more in-depth dive next week. And with that said, we'll go to the next slide. Yeah, so today's agenda, just once again, relatively simple. It's going to be a citywide procurement overview, kind of, what procurement is, what types of procurement are there, and things to think about when it comes to maybe looking at RFIs, RFPs, as Rosa was mentioning. And secondarily, we'll be going over contract compliance requirements and providing tips on those. More or less, these are the things that we would like to just share with you all to kind of prepare yourself for contracting, get familiar, and then, get yourself prepared for when those opportunities come up. So with that, next slide. And then the slide next. So the city at a glance. We're looking at about a $13 billion budget, just kind of for the city of Los Angeles. And these are for the city council controlled departments themselves, which means there's about 44 or so departments and bureaus, more or less 44 agencies within the city of Los Angeles. And a couple of examples, we have a Department on Aging, the Economic Workforce Development Department, shout out Rosa, Housing Department, Public Works, the Youth Development Department, and the Zoo. So quite literally, we have from A to Z departments that have specific needs for all kinds of procurement. Next slide. And with that said, not to make it even more confusing, but we have 3 additional departments that technically are not city council controlled. They are run by their own boards and commissions, and those are our proprietary departments. It's just a fancy way of saying they create revenue and they actually have kind of control of how they spend their dollars. However, with that said, they still are a part of the city. And on top of that, they're almost like their own little universe of sorts when it comes to procurement opportunities and things like that. But the cool part is, we post all of the proprietary departments opportunities on RAMP. So if you're looking for that one-stop shop for all of the opportunities, once again, please get on RAMP. So the 3 proprietary departments that we have in the city of Los Angeles are the Department of Water and Power. I'm sure all of you are familiar with them, the LADWP, the Los Angeles World Airports, LAWA, and finally you have the Port of Los Angeles, otherwise known as POLA. So what we've done here, and we will actually send you all a copy of the slide deck, we actually have links to the small business programs from the proprietary departments kind of linked here. So when you do receive this, please thumb through, flip through, look through these slides, and then please go through any relevant and or if you're interested in any of these links, please go through them and see kind of what they offer for the small businesses. And with that said, next slide, please. Thank you. So yeah, I think in the chat I saw a good mixture of different suppliers and or contractors or the types of a lot of industries more or less in the chat. And so the first category that we will go into is commodities. And so commodities procurement is for, let's just say, a tangible good, something that you can more or less grab and hold. And so this would be for equipment, materials, and supplies, things the city needs to operate on a day-to-day basis. And so for the regular council controlled departments, our General Services Department, GSD, otherwise known, as oversees our commodity procurement and purchasing. So for the most part, all of the commodities purchasing is actually centralized in that space, and they will be kind of doing the commodities purchasing and procurement on behalf of city departments. And so, yeah, if you supply lumber, industrial metals, drilling tools, office supplies, things that, once again, are a tangible good or product, please do work with our General Services Department to get on that platform. The platform for commodities is the Los Angeles Vendor Self-Service portal. But once again, all of those opportunities will be posted onto to RAMP itself. But in order to become a supplier and a vendor and registered into GSD's system, please become a vendor on the LAVSS, once again, the Los Angeles Vendor Self-Service portal. So the link is there, registration is there. It's pretty straightforward. And yeah, highly recommended if you are a commodities vendor. Next slide, please. So for the next category, we have construction. I saw a few construction firms in the chat. For example, Public Works, the departments who use a lot of construction contracts and contracting are Public Works, Recreation and Parks, GSD Construction Forces, Department of Transportation, just to name a few. And yeah, it involves the building, the Public Works definition, building, demolition, alteration, kind of the entire gamut of construction, if you will, for lack of a better term. But the city actually has a good amount of construction, probably, close to, like, the last few years, maybe close to $1 billion or more on construction contracting dollars were available. And so, yeah, I would say for the most part, once again, construction, at least in the general funded council controlled side, it will be held by Public Works. However, it's not to say that other departments, as listed here, won't have additional opportunities as well. If you are a subcontractor, this is an excellent way to once again get kind of plugged into city opportunities, city procurement, by meeting primes. A lot of our construction projects have a lot of opportunities for subcontracting. And so with that said, this is a great way if you're looking to kind of work with the city by first working through a prime contractor and kind of getting a feel for what that's like. Yeah, this is an excellent way to kind of get started there. And a couple examples of construction services, things that we build. Sidewalks, we have a sidewalk repair program, which is a $1 billion over 30-year program, which we're repairing and basically replacing sidewalks kind of all throughout Los Angeles. That is continually happening. Roofing construction, as needed trimming, 6th Street Viaduct, which was completed, but things of that nature, Hyperion Complex of Bridges, those are the types of projects that we have here within the city. Next slide, please. And for the final category of procurement, we have personal services. And so personal services, and just the definition of that from our charter, is professional, scientific, expert, technical, or other special services of a temporary and occasional nature that are performed by independent contractors. All to say is, pretty much everything in terms of a service that we as the city need. It is considered a personal service. If it's not construction, it's not commodities, more than likely it is a personal service contract. And so, yeah, definitely prevalent throughout the city. Everyone uses them. It varies within each department. A lot of departments have different needs, especially if they don't have the proper staffing or expertise within that department, they will go out to contract. And so, next slide, please. And we have examples of personal services contracts. We have business consultants, interpretation, translation, economic analysis, training, education, fiscal agents, event planning, mural paintings. Kind of, it's varied. The city departments do need kind of a wide array of services, especially once again if they don't have the staffing or if it's actually economically feasible or actually economically beneficial to go out to bid. We definitely will for those services. And with that, we'll go to the next slide. And so this portion will be kind of going over kind of the requests for series, if you will. And so the types of procurement within the solicitation process, we're just going to kind of go line by line. This is not going to be super in-depth. And, for those things, I believe we do have, PACE does have, I believe, a session on, how to conduct RFPs, how to respond to RFPs down the line. But this is just for an overview. So for the first category, we have the requests for information. So it's not technically procurement, but the city is looking for information to better understand the scope of work that we need to put together so that we can go out to procure something. It doesn't necessarily come to an award, but it's more the city is looking for information requesting information from the vendors so that you can help inform what the city needs to kind of put together in our scope. So then we can put a RFP out. So it's a good way to just kind of prepare yourself too. If you see an RFI that the city does put out, it's always worth looking into it, seeing what they're looking for, especially if it's within your scope of services, and then respond to them. Help the city kind of understand things that we might not necessarily have the expertise in. Put your 2 cents in there. The next category is a request for bid, which is based on price, lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder per charter and ordinance requirements. And so this category is mostly used in construction and commodities. And so it's a way that we put out a opportunity and we're just looking for just the bottom dollar here. How much can you bid on it as a vendor? What is, basically, let's just say we're looking for line items for, let's just say in the commodities, we need screws and we need nails. What's the lowest price that you can give? And then if you're responsive and responsible in the bid, then you're good to go. So used in, once again, commodities and construction, sometimes in services, but more likely when it's actually a line by line item type situation. Finally, we have a request for proposals, which is request for proposal is where cost is only one of several criteria or selection criteria that proposers will be judged upon. So we can also kind of go into schedule, price, performance, past performance, qualifications, experience, staffing, technical requirements, project approach, kind of how you as the vendor see fit to kind of complete this project. And yeah, it's kind of it's relatively ubiquitous or well used within the services space, but can also be used in construction as well as in the commodity space as well. So let's go to the next slide. So the fourth kind of category within procurement is the request for qualification space. And so proposers are pre-qualified and entered into either a contract or placed on a short list for future bidding opportunities. And so here at the city, we kind of recognize two main kind of mechanisms for RFQs. The first one being a bench contract model where you as the vendor will respond to the RFQ. You will get qualified, and then once you pass the threshold review as well as are selected to be placed on that bench contract, you sign sometimes usually a $0 contract and you kind of do all of your contract compliance requirements. And then you get placed on a pre-qualified bench and then you compete through a task order solicitation. So it's a very simple, I guess you can say, a solicitation by city departments that, that can basically say, I need to hire an engineering firm to, I don't know, let's just say build a bridge. We have a bench contract and bench list. And so I, as the Bureau of Engineering, for example, will put out a task order solicitation to this bench contract list, and then you can compete and basically respond there. The second category of RFQs is something called a pre-qualified list. So usually you don't sign a contract up front, but you do get put on a short list for being qualified for doing this category. This option is more, I guess, beneficial / used for city departments, or let alone if there's a city department that wants other city departments to use this list. They won't necessarily sign a contract with everybody there, but they'll allow other departments to kind of use that short list for the same type of services and or needs that they may have. So two different ways. Highly recommend that you as businesses, especially looking to work, you as businesses that are looking to work with the city, please do sign up for these RFQs, because it's you sign up once, you participate once, and you'll be notified and placed on these short lists, or you'll sign a contract. And it's kind of one of those, your return on investment hopefully will be a lot higher than just responding to maybe just an RFP or anything of that nature. If you can throw your hat in, please do. And there may be multiple opportunities that come your way from this one RFQ. With that, let's move to the next slide. We have a couple of examples of past contracting opportunities. We just have these listed and hyperlinked here. They'll take you to RAMP. You can kind of look through the RFPs and or opportunity documents so that you can kind of get a feel for what the city procures, what a RFP looks like, things of that nature. So these are past opportunities, but they will give you an idea of what the RFP looks like, what are the compliance documents look like, and things like that. So please download this slide deck and just click through these links. Next slide. So with this, we're gonna quickly go over a few tips on contract compliance requirements, kind of the contracting phase. We can't give you kind of a step-by-step or I guess definitive timeline of how long contracting takes. Just know that it can take anywhere from months to potentially a year in terms of getting through the contracting process. But something that we at the Office of Procurement really wanted to convey to you all here is get comfortable and familiar with the contract compliance requirements. This is a space where contractors with their bid, with their proposals, will find themselves non-responsive and non-responsible because they have not put their compliance documentations together. And so we at the Office of Procurement really do want to make this very straightforward. And as we go through this, we've attached the compliance checklist for the vendors, so you can get familiar with that, as well as kind of a general timeline of when to kind of apply or more or less submit these contract compliance requirements. So next slide, please. As mentioned, I know it's probably really small on your screens. However, with that said, this is just a picture of a picture of the compliance requirements checklist that we have attached in this slide deck. And so when you go through this is basically, and then let's go to the next slide. I believe it's a little bit easier to see there. Compliance when the compliance documentation needs to be submitted. So whether it is at the time of bid or if it's on RAMP-LA that you have to submit your compliance documents, or if it's a required documentation at the time of contract. So there's kind of three categories to the contract compliance requirements. And so they're all kind of neatly organized into those spaces. And so by all means, everyone should be very familiar with the contract compliance requirements documents that must be submitted by all proposers at the time of bid. That's the first thing that goes. The second thing is compliance documents that are on RAMP-LA. A lot of the times, these documents or disclosures usually last with your, I would say, last with your account, and so you don't have to kind of update them as frequently. But with that said, you kind of do that, and that's most of the time going to stay there with your profile. And finally, at the time of when you're actually winning the contract, that's about the time when the third kind of group of documentation is required, so that you can kind of understand when do I actually need to turn these things in. Let's go to the next slide. Kind of in addition to that, for vendors who are looking to do business with the city, excuse me, something that we've left here is what do you need, or what documentation do you need to actually get paid? Because with this, we kind of left it into about three different categories, maybe about four. And so the first one is insurance requirements. If you're doing business with the city, more than likely you will need proof of insurance. And so you'll need kind of general liability, workers' comp, auto liability. And with that, we actually have within the city kind of a risk management platform. And that's actually linked here. You go there, fill that out, make sure you have that kind of ready by the time you're contracting. And the opportunity, for example, will actually have kind of what thresholds of insurance that you need to actually participate on the project itself. So that link is here. The next item, specifically, something that I would actually probably recommend all of you, if you've not heard of this, please go do this today, especially if you are looking to do business with the city of Los Angeles. Get your business tax registration certificate, otherwise known as the BTRC. This is actually administered by our Office of Finance. However, with that said, this is kind of the way the city tracks business taxes for doing business with the city of Los Angeles, as well as within the city of Los Angeles. So it is a requirement for any business kind of doing business, even if you're not doing business with us, but you're located within the boundaries of the city of Los Angeles. You do need this, and I'm sure you are all aware. But with that said, if you do not have one and you're looking to do business with us, please go get your BTRC. I would say right after this seminar. The next item is a W-9 from the IRS. That's pretty straightforward. You'll need one of those to get paid from the city of Los Angeles. And then finally, financial guarantee performance bond letter of credit, only if required by the solicitation. So we put down our business source centers as well, specifically pointing on PACE, Merriweathers, and Williams to basically help with this process. They can be helpful resources in getting those. But these 4 categories, please do look up if you just have these ready. If you actually do win a contract with the city of Los Angeles, I would highly recommend just getting all of these things ready before you sign that contract, because it will make the back end of that process a lot more straightforward and a lot simpler. Next slide, please. So we have something called here at the city standard provisions. And so these are more or less contract provisions that are standard on every contract. And so if you agree to work on a city project, you sign in with into a contract with the city, this is what you're agreeing to. Please, please, please read them. I know it's super long. It's legalese. However, it's something that, another item that we do recommend for vendors to actually understand, because this is what you are more or less agreeing to by entering into a contract with the city of Los Angeles. These are the standard provisions. And if you have questions or have concerns, please speak to your attorney, or yeah, more or less, if there's things that you need to negotiate, please have that kind of, that is something during contract negotiations that potentially can happen. But for the most part, these are the kind of standard set of provisions that we, as at the city, as well as the vendor, will agree upon. So with that, and it's hyperlinked here, so please do read them, and please do download them and get familiar with them. Next slide, please. So as we're winding down, we have additional resources that we've hyperlinked here. We have our seminar next week, or ProcureLA seminar next week, about RAMP, how to get on RAMP, maybe a couple of examples of, maybe finding opportunities, as well as how to find your proper next codes. We'll be getting into that next week. However, in the meantime, if you need help with RAMP, or you're looking to, look through an opportunity, or more or less get registered, we do have a pretty robust section of manuals, as well as a help desk that can help you should you have questions. So we've hyperlinked all of them, all of those links here. The Open a Support Snow ticket, very useful when you've gone through the manuals and you kind of are at a loss. Please use that, and somebody from our team will help guide you through the process, or to see if it's actually a technical issue. They can work with our information technology department, our agency, to help you through that. We've also actually in the past run a small business webinar. We actually have linked the folder, should be in public access. And in there is just a bunch of examples of past RFPs, a slide deck, I believe a couple other, we do have, I believe, a small business pamphlet in there too that our office has kind of created. Please do download that, take a look at that. And yeah, if it's helpful, we hope it's helpful for you. And then finally here, the last link is a RAMP success video where we've actually, have examples of businesses that have won contracts, won awards, and yeah, they're just videos of people who have won previous contracts. And let's go to the next slide. So, kind of exciting news. We've actually released a update to RAMP this past month, and we actually are allowing electronic bidding if the, let's just say, originating department kind of chooses to turn them on. But with that said, what that means in regular speak is that there are a lot more capabilities within RAMP now for bidding. So the department that you're looking to do business with could actually choose to do all of your procurement more or less electronically, and that's all going to be done on RAMP LA. So with that said, for the foreseeable future, our office will be putting on RAMP LA technical demonstrations, not specific to one opportunity that you might be having an issue with, but these are excellent training sessions to understand how to use RAMP if you're looking to participate in a procurement? How do I enter in information? What sections are kind of relevant to, putting in a bid? And so on Thursdays, for kind of the foreseeable future, unless if something changes, this is the link to join that technical demonstration. We will try to teach people how to use the system, get familiar with it, and it'll be a way to ask questions about the system itself, not on opportunity, but more specific to the to the system. So that is on here. Yeah, hope to see you all there. It will help you all just once again gain familiarity with our new end-to-end system here. Next slide, please. And yeah, so Leia Chu, my boss, was not able to make it here today, but my name is Daniel Cho. I'm the manager, once again, for the strategy and policy within the Office of Procurement. And my email is here should you have any questions, as well as that support ticket. Please, if you have questions on RAMP itself, please use that support ticket link. And if there's, per opportunity questions. But yeah, please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about city procurement, or if there's things that maybe, if you need help on, if I can help you, more than happy to do so. And with that, please follow us on social media. We have an Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel with videos, as well as past recordings of webinars, registration webinars, and things of that nature, as well as a LinkedIn. So with that, I believe that's it. I'll turn it back to you, Christina.
Okay, well, thank you, Daniel. So that was a great overview of RAMP. So, and if you wanted to learn more of an in-depth step-by-step demonstration on RAMP, Daniel will be available again next week for our module 2. So, so with that said, if you've feel free to put on the chat whether you've used RAMP before or you're very new to it. So we'd like to know. But yeah, it's very interesting the types of products and services that the city procures, including golf balls, right? Which I saw in one of your slides. Very interesting. So with that said, I would like to introduce our new speaker, our next speaker, Charla Sullivan from WebCore, who will talk to us with regards to the perspective of a prime contractor. So Charla, I will stop my share and then feel free to share your slides.
All right, tell me if you can see my slides.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, lovely. Then let me put them in presentation mode so that everybody can see them in a nice, lovely way.
Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone is well. My name is Charla Sullivan. I'm the Outreach and Partnerships Manager for WebCore Builders. And thank you for allowing me to present today. This is really lovely. I appreciate the opportunity. Do a little bit about WebCore. WebCore is a full service general contractor. We were founded in 1971, and our entire mission is to build solutions and better lives. And we do that with unmatched innovation and efficiency. We've been for over half a century delivering amazing projects throughout California. We are a California builder, so we have one of our main offices is in Los Angeles. We do quite a bit of work in Los Angeles, and we understand local public regulations. Most of our work is public, so we also do private work. We do have 5 offices covering the state of California. When we have over $5.5 billion in bonding capacity. We are fully prepared to serve any type of project that is needed. Our safety EMR is really great. We have $5.5 billion bonding capacity, as I mentioned, $1.5 billion revenue. We have over 1,000 employees, and we also are a union contractor, so we self-perform concrete, drywall. We have our own equipment, carpentry, and timber companies that work with us. That are a part of WebCore as a self-performed division. These are our market sectors, though. You'll see us in pre-construction, construction. We have our craft groups. We have our project management and our construction manager group as well. And as you can see here, I will not read all of these, but we do pretty much everything except for heavy civil. We do have an infrastructure department, however, so we do some heavy civil work around water, wastewater, utilities, but you won't see us in highway and roadway and rail. Those are the places you won't see us. Pretty much anywhere else you will. I would say that some of our notable projects are more in the hospital, data center, infrastructure, aviation. We've done a lot of airport work and have some airport work that I'll talk about in a bit. Transportation and lots of tenant improvement. We do quite a bit of civic and cultural work. And restaurant retail space. Another area that we are extremely committed to is education. So you'll see us in higher education, a lot in student housing, and you'll see us in affordable housing. Something really important I want to stress, because this particular module is designed to prepare people. So talking about how do you prepare for a contract, and with all of the great resources that were offered by RAMP, anyone who's wishing to do business with Webcor, I want to talk about how you might be able to connect with us. So anyone holding a contract with Webcor must have a pre-qualification status up to date with us. That means vendors, that's anyone contracted directly to work with Webcor as the corporate side or as a self-perform side. Any suppliers that are directly contracted to Webcor, any trade partners or subcontractors, that is if you even have a design or professional service agreement, as long as it's a contract with Webcor, you will need to be pre-qualified. That doesn't stop you from getting pre-qualified, even if you are not going to hold a direct contract with Webcor. Say you are a smaller business and we may not have a carve out, and you typically see yourself underneath a larger prime contractor. In that case, oftentimes we will be able to communicate with you and include you in opportunities where that's possible, or connect you if you have an updated profile, whether or not you're fully pre-qualified or not in our system. We use Building Connected. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Before I do, let's talk about trade partner project support. So when we are looking to do any work with anyone, especially our smaller businesses, we hold outreach events. We hold XBE, that's any type of our underutilized businesses office hours. We do trade package evaluation. We offer technical support, and this is to provide continuity across the projects. And then we also are interested in building relationships. So maybe you don't have a relationship with a particular project team, but you are interested in doing work on that project, and that is an area where we can make an introduction or provide other types of support in those ways. So we are here to assist you to have an opportunity to work with us. Building Connected is our platform. Many contractors use Building Connected. This is a platform to which to pre-qualify and to also see where bid opportunities exist. You can access webcor.com/subcontractors. That's where you can find all the different outreach events we are currently going to be going to, where you can pre-qualify, where you can see our bid board. Everything is there. We also do communication through Building Connected. So once you have a profile set up with us, say we're looking for, I don't know, Division 5, we're looking for mixed metals and other types of metals, then we would go in and say who is already pre-qualified with Webcor and at what project limits in order to include them in an upcoming bid opportunity. Not being pre-qualified does not preclude. However, given how tight sometimes our groups are looking to buy out a project, having your business pre-qualified in advance is key in order to receive those bid invitations. The more we know about you and your firm, the better in the ease of being able to connect, make that relationship, and include you in a bid opportunity. The less we know, the harder it is to form that relationship. So, required for prime tiers, we have a very quick process. We do have some required documents that are listed here. If you are a subcontractor that's providing, or a supplier who's providing $250,000 or less of some sort of contract, that is a really small pre-qual and something that can be done very quickly. If not, we do require all of the information here. We do qualify with exceptions. This is extremely important for small businesses to hear. What does that mean for you? For small businesses, you may not have 3 years of safety ratings. Maybe your EMR, one thing can skew your EMR. So we will work with you. So if you have questions and you get to a point in the pre-qual and you say, oh, I don't have that, please email us. We hold office hours. We will make one-on-one appointments to work through this process with you to get you pre-qualified with exceptions. If you are a small business and you're getting ready to break into your first contract with us, or you're looking to do a little bit more work with us and you're looking to grow your relationship. Here's where you'll find the opportunities. This is a little overview of Building Connected. So you'll see here that on the left, you'll find bidding opportunities at Webcore. When you click that link, you'll say, I want to look at the bid board. You'll look at upcoming opportunities. You can add yourself to those packages. You can contact the people who it says are listed there. And then once you click, you'll see different bid packages. You can add yourself to those bid packages. Or if there is an RFQ section, the request for qualifications, please add yourself there. The reason why the request for qualifications is so important, often those projects are a progressive design build or some sort of a design build project where we're looking to ask more questions for folks to qualify. That's an extremely amazing spot for smaller businesses to be in because we only qualify a small pool and then we will go ahead, or whoever responds to the RFQ, and then we will go ahead and the RFP will only be bid between those who already qualified. So extremely important to pay attention to RFQs. If you see an email from Building Connected, open it, indicate that you are bidding. We'll talk about this in a second. How do you increase your chance to win? I left this slide in here because some people say, well, you know, I'm with Building Connected and I haven't got an opportunity to bid. So here's how you can increase your opportunity to one, even see a bid and then to actually win the bid. Be pre-qualified. If you want to get an opportunity to bid something at Webcore, please pre-qualify. It's how our group is looking for folks who are saying, who's ready to go? Provide budgetary pricing on non-bid award rounds. Oftentimes in the design build world, we will look for pricing long before we will ever go out to bid. And that's just to kind of gauge the market and to see what we're looking at in order to provide pricing to our clients. If you have the opportunity, if you have the capacity to provide that type of budgeting, that's really important because then you're kind of getting to come along on the journey with us. Ask bid RFIs to clear up any questions or concerns or the scope of work, schedule, or site logistics. And this again is super important. When you receive that communication from Building Connected, open it. Say, yes, I'm going to bid. Yes, I have questions. Here's my questions. If you wait till bid due day, the chances of your questions getting answered or you being able to understand what's included and excluded are going to be minimized, and then your bid may not be complete. So complete the bid form or the scope sheet in its entirety. This is extremely important. We do get a lot of non-complete bids, and then we're not able to use them. Use the messaging or communication functions in Building Connected. This is what we will use to communicate to all of you. Perhaps there is an RFI that comes in and we are answering that question. That will come out to everyone who's bidding on the project. So extremely important to pay attention to communications from Building Connected. Submit a signed and initialed subcontract exhibit with your F1. F1 is really the most important bid. It has all of the different requirements. Meet all your deadlines, attend job walks if in person or virtual if they exist, and provide value engineering ideas. I see a lot of small businesses who are really winning the bids providing these value engineering ideas because not all of the super large businesses have that flexibility or know something unique about that specific market or that neighborhood that would give you the edge. So find the thing that gives you the edge. Here are some upcoming SoCal bid opportunities I wanted to highlight. We do have a project at LAWA. This is the LAX Wayfinding project. We will have our procurement beginning in Q2 2025 with core trades, and then we'll have a waived procurement following that all the way through probably the end of 2025. We also shortlisted for the LAX or the LAWA MATOC. The procurement for that is really going to depend on the task order release from the airport. And that procurement, if if we're selected, will begin in Q2 2025 estimated. UC Santa Barbara, there is a waived procurement for this particular project that has an RFQ phase for each of those waived procurements. So if you're looking to get involved in that project, you will want to be added to the RFQ phases for each of the waves of procurement so that you can actually bid on the RFP sections for that project. We have a couple other projects that I'm going to mention by name only here in the recording. We have Los Angeles Convention Center that we are working with PCL, joint venture for that particular project. That one is pending. So if you're looking to be involved in any way, shape, or form, please contact us. And then we have also a project out at UC Irvine that is also waived procurement. So if you're interested in either of those, I need to determine what is still available on UCI. For more information, you can contact outreach@webcore.com, and that is where you can ask more questions about the types of projects or send a capability statement or something. If you have questions on how you might talk to our pre-qualification department, you can do so there. This is the most important thing. Who of you have phones today? This is where you can access our bid board. The same website that I mentioned earlier, webcore.com/subcontractors. Same QR code will take you there if you're interested in doing business with us. This is the first step. Get pre-qualified. If you encounter an issue with the pre-qualification, please don't hesitate to contact us and say, hey, I need some assistance. I've got stopped here. How can I move forward? So super important for each company to have an up-to-date contact person, an up-to-date type of certifications that you guys are qualified within. What is your certifying entity? What are you qualified for? And as far as a small business or diverse business certification. And then in addition to, maybe you have information that you want to tell us, make sure you have your scopes listed. I will tell you the number one egregious thing I see when I'm going through and looking to build packages is I don't see what your scope is. And that becomes very challenging. And then it's like, okay, well, let me invite this person to, these 3 packages because their scopes seem ambiguous. So if you're looking, there's the NASIX code or commodity codes that were mentioned, make sure that you're talking to the commodity codes in the areas that you can actually work within, or those NASIX codes that you are able to perform work in. Make sure you list those as those are what you can do, so that we know what your scope, the right scope is for you, so we can include you in the proper bid opportunity. And again, that person, that point of contact, you don't want to have a stopgap. It's just one. You can list as many as you like for your company. So make sure that you're able to get those communications from Building Connected. That's really important to do business with us. And we want to do business with you. WebCore is of the mind that all projects come from a community need. We're here to serve the community by building those projects, and we cannot do without the community support. So in order for us to build wonderful, lasting, quality and community building spaces, we have to include the community in our pursuits and in our projects. So please let me know if you have any questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer.
Well, thank you so much, Charlotte. I think just if you can put your information down on the chat, a few people have been asking for your email, so just contact information. And then, yeah, with that said, I know that thank you so much for talking about WebCore, and I know we have a lot of subcontractors who are excited to work with you. So if on the chat, if you're a subcontractor, put yes. If you wanted to, if you enjoy the presentation, if it's something that you'd like to go forward with and work with WebCore. So with that said, I'd like to introduce our next speaker. So our next speaker is Simona Caldwell from LASEC, and which is Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission, right? So I got that correct. So I'm just gonna go ahead and share the slides. There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate it,
Sure.
Christine. All right. Well, again, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank the wonderful team at ProcureLA and PACE for inviting me to join the webinar today. And thank you all for coming and attending to learn more about the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission and our program, Business Connect. Just note, I am no way being exclusive because procurement opportunities within the sports entertainment industries are available and open to everyone. Our program, Business Connect, though, focuses on a specific niche as it relates to procurement that I'll get into later. All right, next slide, please. So before we talk about Business Connect, though, I want to share some information about the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission, otherwise known as LASEC. So for over 25 years, LASEC has been very instrumental in bringing some of the world's most renowned sports entertainment events to our city. There's no other organization in Los Angeles that specifically focuses on driving economic and community impact through bidding on, securing, and hosting major high-profile sporting and entertainment events. LASEC is a 501c3 California nonprofit public benefit corporation. The Los Angeles Sports Entertainment Commission actively engages with local diverse suppliers to maximize procurement opportunities in partnership with the high profile events through our program, of course, as I mentioned earlier, Business Connect. Next slide, please. Now, as I'm sure you all have heard, there are major events coming to Los Angeles within the next 4 years, right? So, it includes, we've been in a decade unlike any other, which these major events, including Super Bowl 56, 2022 MLB All-Star Game, 2023 College Football Playoff National Championships, WrestleMania 39, and of course, the 123rd US Open Championship. Those have already generated more than $1 billion in economic and community impact for the Los Angeles region. So now looking ahead, now we approach a stretch of even more sports events unmatched by any other destination. So in 2026, we have the All-Star Game, NBA All-Star Game. That is projected to generate more than 350 million in economic and media impact for Inglewood and the greater Los Angeles area. And that's according to Temple University Sports Industry Research Center. You also have the US Women's Open Championship. Previous events have delivered between 25 and 35 million in economic impact for those cities. And what's coming up first for us is FIFA World Cup in 2026. Now, this is projected to generate 594 million in economic impact to Los Angeles County. And let me share what that's made up of. 343 million is in direct spending by World Cup visitors. I'll repeat that. 343 million will be in direct spending by World Cup visitors. We're projecting that amount. The other 250 million, 51 million, that'll be in follow-up spending according to a recent report issued by Microeconomics and Economic Research and Consulting. So that's a huge opportunities for FIFA World Cup 26. You have Super Bowl 61. The impact from Super Bowl 56 in 2022 delivered up to 477 million. So we're sure gonna pass 500 million when Super Bowl comes back in 2027. So combined, the projection for these upcoming major events will add more in addition to what I mentioned earlier, $1 billion in economic impact for just Los Angeles region this decade. And that's not even including the Olympics. So we're super excited about what's to come. So these events again present many opportunities for local diverse businesses. And just as the athletes and others prepare for these upcoming events, you as local businesses must do the same to be competitive, in your business discipline. Next slide, please. So Business Connect was initially a signature program of the NFL events department designed to build a direct procurement link between experienced local diverse businesses and NFL special event vendors and event producers. Mouthful. So as a part of Super Bowl 56 efforts, LASCC first launched Business Connect in October of 2020. So given its success, legacy, and impact, LASCC requested and received permission from the NFL to implement an independently LA-based Business Connect program to support future sports events and entertainment events in Los Angeles. So we had about $5.8 million in contracts just from the Super Bowl alone, and close to 7 million total once we added a few other events to our roster. So Business Connect supports minority, women, LGBTQIA+, persons with disability, and veteran-owned businesses through professional development sessions, networking events, and access to subcontracting opportunities. Our program is a nationally recognized supplier diversity initiative with 9 years of industry experience and a successful record in securing contracts for local subcontractors across 17 markets nationwide. So again, we specialize in event production, since these are the disciplines that suppliers need or primes need for these high profile events. So there are approximately 30 disciplines. For example, you have AV, tenting, floral, furniture, catering, and I'll get into that shortly. Next slide, please. So for our Business Connect program, we currently have about almost 200 suppliers in the program focused on event production, and our demographics make up the following, as you see on the screen. So again, 79% minority owned, 57% woman owned, 9% LGBTQIA plus owned, and then 6% veteran owned. We are trying to increase the number of businesses we have for persons with disabled owned businesses, because we think it's important to have representation for everything. So again, we're gearing up right now to add more suppliers within the demographics listed. And we're working on recruiting right now of this quarter of 2025. Next slide, please. So to be invited to apply to the LASCC Business Connect program, you must be an experienced local diverse supplier with the capacity to meet the subcontracting needs of our event partners, such as the NFL, MLB, NBA, FIFA, and the Olympics, who we work with. Both LASCC and our major event partners all require certification as a requirement for participation, especially with their supply diversity programs, if, depending on how they will couch that and what their percentages will be. So we define diverse, I just saw that pop up. We define diverse as any company that is owned by a woman, minority, LGBTQIA plus person with disability, or a veteran. It is important, and it has to be owned 51%. And it's important to LASCC that our workplace and the companies we do business with have access to a workforce that is inclusive, of course, and representative of the state of California and Los Angeles. So our teams, both internal and external, welcome people of diverse backgrounds and national origins, all gender identities across all socioeconomic statuses. So our vetting process is a multi-step verification process that's worked successfully in 17 markets nationwide. The system we currently use was customized to identify the capacity, you've heard that word, business acumen and expertise of each company under consideration. So our team is trained to confirm the diverse ownership and financial viability of each applicant. So next slide, please. So Business Connect criteria, second page. So the Business Connect follows the federal guidelines on certifications. We accept the big five, as you see, and also selects local, city, and state certifications as well. So if you are not currently certified, now is the time to do so. I encourage you to talk with your local chambers or business organizations such as PACE, ProcureLA, and research your city's resources to see if they can get you assistance with getting certified, excuse me. Next slide, please. So earlier I mentioned our program works with businesses in event production. The current slide lists the most requested and typical business disciplines under event production utilized by our event partners and the primes producing premier sports entertainment events. Again, Business Connect was designed to scale in nature as far as scope and size. And we've built relationships in Los Angeles that'll easily allow us to add new suppliers working with organizations, again, such as PACE, ProcureLA, RAMP, to existing disciplines and create new service and product lines as needed to meet the subcontracting needs of our event partners. So now we understand that these may not be, the only disciplines that folks will need, and I'm sure there will be more to come. But I just wanted to give you all an example of the procurement process when working with sports entertainment events and what their primes are, possibly looking for in the initial round of looking for subcontracting opportunities. So we are continuously working with the venues, the primes, again, the teams, NFLs, MLBs, NBAs, and events to determine their event production needs. So for our program, I'm also searching for other opportunities outside of these larger events to maintain a level of consistency for our suppliers. Everyone's got a guy, right? So we're working within the program of Business Connect to circumvent this and encourage our event partners to use local, small, diverse businesses for subcontracting roles. Next slide, please. So listed here are a few major events our suppliers were participants in with remarkable success. As a result, about 20 to 25% of our suppliers have been asked to take on additional projects and given other opportunities with clients we've introduced them to through the program. So they say, work your network, and our Business Connect suppliers have done a fantastic job of doing just that, and we encourage you all to do the same. They've worked hard and become some of the go-to suppliers for several venues and events including Super Bowl 2022, which I mentioned earlier, brought Business Connect to Los Angeles. There's also the College Football Playoff Championship, which was hugely successful for our suppliers, WrestleMania, Grammy Awards, BET, ESPY Awards, the US Open Championship. Those were all additional events for which Business Connect suppliers were contracted because of their connections and experience with working with Business Connect. So next slide. So the question that I always get is, how do you position yourself to be competitive for these opportunities, for these high profile events? You've heard it throughout, it's been a theme throughout this whole conversation today. Research, preparation, especially preparation. Research the event pages to stay current on their procurement opportunities, sign up for their business list or networking list if they have one, if they have a portal, sign up for those. And I'll try to get as much of that information to share with Christina and her team, so I can send a one-pager that has some of this information. You kind of have to dig for it, which is why we like to share it. Capacity. You need to have capacity. Remember, you're dealing with these huge events. So you think about Super Bowl, you think about FIFA World Cup. These are huge events. Excuse me. So you got to make sure that you have the capacity to handle the bids or the opportunities of financial with your dollars and your products and goods and services. So for example, and I use this quite often with the crew feed. So if you're a catering company and you get a bid to do a crew feed, the folks who are working, FIFA will just say, you got to do it for a week, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and make sure that you have all the, the capacity to handle the food. Well, if you don't, or say, for example, you put an apple in the lunch and there's no more apples that for some reason, your person that was supposed to put the apples in the lunch didn't put them in there. Now you have to go and then purchase apples to backfill, right? So you got to make sure that not only can you still provide those lunches with the apples, but if someone falls, you got to be able to pick up where they left off financially and then still run your business. So when we look at capacity, we want to make sure that you have the capacity to handle those things. And if you have to collaborate with someone, we are open to that. We're not just saying, hey, you have to do this on your own. If there's a company that you work with that can help you handle a bid, that's even better. So certification, again, work with your local business organizations and chambers to get the resources you need. They're looking to get, for folks who are certified, as you heard from the other folks as well today. And then insurance. My prior role was in insurance. So insurance is super important. One of the questions that they'll ask you is like, hey, can you get $1 million to $2 million in liability insurance or workers' comp? If can your broker or your agent provide that for you now? And if not, you need to find someone who can. I know I'm working with a couple of folks in the insurance industry right now that may be a resource for you all. So again, I'll share that information with Christina. Again, this is just resources that I'm finding. Because everybody has their own person that they work with. So I'm not trying to take business from any of those folks. But if you have questions about that, again, hopefully I can provide just some basic resources for you to research further. Another thing that I know my company does, or my program, Business Connect, build your brand and your website, build your brand and leverage your social media presence. You got to make sure that your website and your media marketing are professional. Your contact information is up to date and you have your capability statement and or deck ready to go. I can't tell you how often, our team will look at someone's website maybe and not understanding what they do, or it's just pictures and you go, okay, what does this company do? And oftentimes you have to understand the people who are looking for subcontractors, they don't have the time to go through things quickly. Whoever they find that looks like they can do the job and has capacity and they're certified, they're going to probably pick them over someone where they have to do a little bit digging because they just don't have the time to do that. So my program, of course, Business Connect, we're trying to simplify that process for them and make sure that we can just say, here's some folks that are ready and contract ready to go. And then, some other things that I tell businesses as well as the folks in the program is, what can you do to make your business stand out from others, right? So FIFA's coming up. Again, just using catering as an example. If make cookies, maybe you can do something that'll make a cookie look like a soccer ball, or maybe you can do something that'll get people to be engaged in your business and what you're doing. Because remember, as I mentioned, there's going to be over 300 million in spending from just the visitors alone. So you want to make sure you can do whatever you can do to make your business stand out and attract those dollars to come to you as well in your area. Networking and partnerships. I mentioned this earlier. Build connections with other businesses, sponsors, stakeholders involved with these events. Collaboration is key. So again, if you do not have the capacity to handle like a huge crew feed, maybe you know someone that has another catering business that can, and you all can work together and submit a bid. So then you have the capacity to handle things. Stay in contact with your chambers. These type of events, just still be a part of them. So you know what you need to do in order to be ready, contract ready, prepared, whatever these folks are looking for. So I know we've had a couple success stories. There's a production company, J Live, that we work with. He's worked with the Intuit Dome. We have another catering company, Art Delectables, that since them being a part of Business Connect, they've also got a contract with the Marriott to provide some of their cheesecakes that they do. Doolin's is a popular restaurant in LA. They received a contract with the Intuit Dome to feed their contractors while building the dome. So again, multiple stories I can share with you. But one of the things I also wanted to say is the common pitfalls. Please do not overcommit. And this is across the platform for any of these organizations that you've heard from today. Don't apply for the bid if you're unable to deliver. If you have to ask questions for clarity when needed, and do your homework regarding the opportunity, because you can't use a cookie cutter approach to everything. So something that's for web core, you can't, apply for that and then use the same template for something else. Make sure you just do your due diligence and you cater the bid to their needs and what you can provide, and be honest about that. And if you do have to bring in another company, again, totally fine. Just be transparent in what you're able to do. So before I close, I do have some information, some brief information to share about LA 28. I sit on one of the committees for the business procurement team, and so I got permission to share, since LASEC is not responsible for the Olympics or Paralympics, LA 28 is, but I got permission to share this information. So LA 28 is committed to collaborating on business pathways and creating equity in their procurement system to deliver this world-class mega event. To assist businesses, LA 28 has shared a list of spend categories needed to plan and deliver the games. More specifically, they will be looking to hire certified local businesses, small businesses, and businesses owned by underrepresented groups to support the planning and delivery of the games. And the contact from LA 28 will follow up with ProcureLA to make sure you all get this list, and I can email it as well. But it's ceremony and events, human resources, construction and contracting, impact, corporate administration, marketing and communications, facilities management, technology, food and beverage and accommodations, transportation, logistics, and game operations. So yes, we will share all this information with the ProcureLA team so you all have it. So again, I'm sure someone from LA 28 will also follow up with the PACE team in the future regarding these opportunities and share how they will be presented accordingly. Next slide, please. So I am your contact for the Business Connect program, and my information is listed on the slide along with the QR code that will take you to our website that will go into more detail about what I've discussed.
Hello?
Simona, we lost your audio.
Yeah, we lost you. Okay, so yeah, we lost Simona. However, if you wanted to see her contact information, it's here. This is her email. And then actually, let me see. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Yeah, there you go, Simona. Okay. Yeah, so yes. So this is her email address, and then this is her phone number, and then scan the code and see, and she will be your contact for Business Connect. And so with that said, I'm gonna stop my share, and we're gonna have about 10 minutes to ask questions. So let me just stop share, and then I'm just gonna go back to the information I had earlier. Okay. Okay. So I just have, let me see. Simona, are you back? Oh, okay. So I do have a question for her from the chat, but let's start with the other ones. So I think most of them are about Ramp LA. So let me just read them all. Will all contracting opportunities within the city and the regional partners for the upcoming sports and entertainment events in LA be posted on Ramp? Are some not posted there or posted elsewhere?
So for the LA 28 games, the Olympics will be posting their opportunities on Ramp. That is the contractual agreement that we have in the games agreement. So right now, I do have to say there's not a ton of opportunities that they have been releasing. I would almost say there's only been about 5 or 6 maybe opportunities. They recently, I want to say about a month and a half ago, posted an opportunity for like electrician cable work. But yeah, it's another reason to sign up for ramp, and then when those opportunities become live, they'll post a kind of a notification, and then you will be directed to their system to start the registration process for if you're a LA28 vendor. As for the other, as for the other, the LASIK opportunities, I don't think we will be posting those. FIFA, I think that's for for Simona or the Business Connect. That's their own, I believe, group. So
Can you hear me okay?
yes, we
Oh,
can hear you now.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
So for those opportunities, we are talking to FIFA right now about what that looks like. I probably will be working with their lead procurement person at FIFA, and so we're just making sure that those opportunities are spread out. We don't want to, again, like I said, not include other opportunities for other folks to join from, the other portals. And we encourage anyone that we talk to, even the folks in our program, to get on as many platforms as you can, because you never know where some of these folks will end up going to look for subcontractors for these opportunities. So it's not a no. It's not a no.
Yeah, and the next question is for you, Simona. So there was a question on the chat about someone who does coffee supply. So I know that's one of the categories that you had mentioned. So is that something, I'm assuming it's a big need, but can you talk a little bit more about that?
When you say coffee supplies, is it the like coffee itself or the bean? I would have to talk to them or learn more information about what they're specifically.
I think they're doing prepared coffee.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
like a
Yeah,
cart or a
it's a
kiosk.
beverage, like a
That's what
beverage
I'm, yeah,
service, right?
assuming.
Yeah, if it's a beverage service, yeah, they can apply, because usually sometimes people just want to have, like if you have a VIP event, and they may have just coffee and pastries, and sometimes, or they just want a beverage service, we can work with them to try to get that contract for them as well. It just depends again on what they need. Even if it's just about making sure that the folks who are working the events have their designated areas where they're going to be serving food or coffee or other beverages, we can work with folks to do that as well.
Great, thank you. And I think this question is for you, Daniel. How do you find out about RFQs?
Yeah, I would love to type a response to that. So, just a like in general, if you're looking for opportunities, please register for ramp. One of the first things that you'll do is fill out your vendor profile. Next, afterwards, you'll actually be asked what North American industry codes you'll be registering for. And so once you put in those industry codes or next codes, you'll be able to get notifications of specific opportunities within those categories. So for example, if it's let's just say event services provider, and you punch that next code in, and then you'll start receiving any opportunity that the city releases within those categories. So that's kind of the automated way of doing it. If you want, we can actually go into next week kind of a how to search opportunities on the ramp site, so you can see if there's any RFQs. There is a filter for RFQ. You can click that and then hit the ones that are open, and then you should be able to see all of the open RFQs. But we'll do that next week with the demo as well.
Yeah. Well, excellent way to promote next week's module, Daniel. So I appreciate that one. You did my work for me. So this one, hello, I submitted an application for SLB or LSB certification on September 24th on RAM 2024 and have not received any updates and status. Then how long
Yeah.
does a certification take to approve?
So the Bureau of Contract Administration, and just to clarify, the Office of Procurement does not actually handle the certifications. It's actually done by the Bureau of Contract Administration. I know they had a bit of a backlog. However, let me see here. Let me grab their email for you guys, and I'll post it here. Believe it is bca.certification. So let me pop that here in the chat. Yeah, so if you guys have questions on certifications, or if you guys have a pending application, please chat them or email them. They should be able to assist you. But I know sometimes it can take some time, especially if there is a backlog. But if you have an opportunity, especially I see if it was a L or LBE or even SLB, if you have an opportunity that you're in the running for, you can actually let the Bureau of Contract Administration know that you are actually actively pursuing a contract, and in kind of the final stages of procurement. They will actually expedite your review. So in the event that you do bid on a project and you're being considered for an award, you can let the Bureau of Contract Administration know, and then they'll actually move your application to the top, and they'll actually force a pretty much a very quick review. So.
Okay, well, thank you, Daniel. So, and there are a few questions about recording and links in the slides. So what I do afterwards is I will send out a follow-up email with the links and the slides, and then the recording will be either on our PACE e-library or on the ProcureLA website. So I will give you more information on that on the follow-up email. And then there's a question, and this could be open to anyone, with the new administration removing DEI from the federal opportunities, how does that impact bids and other stuff?
Yeah, I can take that first, and yeah, if anyone else wants to jump in as well. So, funny enough, I do have to say the state of California has been operating in a race and gender unconscious program mindset / policy set. And so even with the new administration coming in, we don't actually have any, or it's actually California constitutional legal to have a race or gender conscious programs, which means I can't create from the city of Los Angeles or any, California agency for that matter. I can't say I want to use 15% minority business enterprises, which is, that's what we've been kind of living in for the last 20 odd years, or a little bit less than 20 years. So, I think that's why it's important for our our social programs, as well as our our outreach efforts, to actually try to expand the net of the vendors, as well as making sure that when we do targeted outreach, as well as the things that are California Constitution legal, as well as charter legal, we want to make sure we're doing everything within our power to ensure everyone is aware of said opportunities, as well as just making sure, like, I think the term that a lot of people use is when the tide rises, all the boats rise, or something to that effect. And so we do want to make sure that we're making all available efforts for our small diverse population as well. So we can't specifically target, but yeah, we're doing our best to make sure that we're lowering the barriers. We're making sure that the process is hopefully becoming more simple, and then we're trying our best within our confines.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. And the question for Simona. Jessica's business is promotional products, embroidery and screen printing. How soon can she see opportunities to bid on these categories?
Well, if you're going to be a part of the Business Connect program, again, we're looking to recruit right now new businesses based on some of the disciplines that we received from FIFA thus far, some of our event partners. And they're basically the ones that have been listed on there, like the ones I talked about today, is similar to the ones from LA28. So in order to get in the program, first you have to complete an interest form. We do a soft vet of your business to see if you're, again, certified, if it's something that we're going to need right away, of course, based on the needs. And this is just the first round. So this is not the end all to be all, because we're probably going to do a rolling recruitment event. So, but first trying to see who we have, backfill where we need folks. And then once we do the soft vetting and you've been identified to participate, then we will send you an actual application. And then you complete the application, and then we'll do further vetting again for capacity for financial and your goods and services, depending on your discipline. And then we'll go from there as far as the business. So what folks need to understand is, the NFL is not calling us. The NFL won't call you directly. The NBA won't they'll hire a prime, a production company, and the production company will figure out, okay, we're going to do X, Y, Z. This is what we need help with. And that's where the subcontracting opportunities come in. So then they will reach out to all of their folks to say, hey, here's where we're going to need folks, right? And so once that's identified, then that's how we identify, who we need. And so all that takes time. We're just starting to get that information from FIFA right now, in addition to recruiting. So that probably won't happen as far as bids, I would say, until the later part of this year, mid to the end of the year.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks, Simona. So in the next couple minutes or so, I just wanted to give a little bit of overview on ProcureLA. So ProcureLA, as we're working in conjunction with Mayor Karen Bass's office with regarding providing free services and resources to really help and equip to acquire city contracts. I know there was a question on the chat about who can we reach out to with regards to helping with reviewing proposals and bids. So this would be PACE would be one of them. So if you are interested, what I would suggest is let me see. These are so these are just stuff about ProcureLA. So if you wanted to learn more about it, it's procurela.com. But I wanted to just give you a little bit of information about so if you are interested in doing some one-on-one consulting with some of our counselors, so feel free to reach out to me either by phone or by email. So I'll just give you a couple seconds to screenshot this one. And then I'm going to give you just a little bit more information about the next couple of modules. So the next module that we're doing is with Daniel and just a deep dive on Ramp LA. So if you wanted to register for the rest of the modules, please scan this QR code and hopefully we'll see you again in the next couple weeks. And I'm sorry we couldn't get through all your questions, but what I'll do is I'll send out a follow-up email, as I said, with contact information of all the speakers. And then if you have any questions that are specific to them, then you can just reach out to them directly. Alrighty. So with that said, I think we're right on time. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for all the speakers. I really appreciate your time and your knowledge. And thank you for all the attendees. And hopefully we see you again next week. There's so much more information that we have in order to make your business be prepared for the next couple of years with the major events going on in LA. So have a good rest of your day and see you soon. Hopefully see you next week. So thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a good day.
You too.